Have you ever read something that made you question your own existence about the life you are living? Uh, I just did. It's called The Death of Ivan Ilyich by Tolstoy. It's a very short book that made me ask very difficult questions of life. The story follows the death of Ivan Ilyich. In the first chapter, we get to know that Ivan Ilyich is dead. He had been sick for a very long time, and his friends and family react in a way that is not expected from from a friends and family of a person who has been loved. Ivan Ilyich was a successful man by the society's standard. He had a successful career. He had a good family life. He had earned respect. He lived this life like society expected him to live. But by the end of it, he did not have much left for him to look back to. As I read this book, I could not help to put myself in his place. I think that's why it impacted me so much, because I started thinking about how most of us live like we are cogs in a machine. We do what is expected of us to do. We are handed down expectations before we even know what we want from ourselves, and we perform for other people, and we rarely live authentically. And that's what Ivan Illich did. He did not realize, but he did not live his life as he wanted to. But he did not even think about life in a way that something that was his own. Most of us are aware of death, but we are aware of death as something that happens to other people, as some distant reality, as something that mm, we do not like to think often about, and rightly so. But if you think about it, death is the only reality. It is the only thing that is guaranteed in this life. And there's this one chapter in this book where Ivan Ilyich is on his sick bed, and he's thinking about how it could happen to him. Like, how could he be dying? It is something that he was aware of mortality of men in general, but he is not men in general. And it's funny how we end up avoiding the only truth that we know to be true. And yeah, I started thinking about how I am living my life. If I am doing the things that I want to do, if I'm not postponing the things that matter to be the most to some later time, and what if that later never arrives? What then? What if death arrives before that? And would when I am on my deathbed, would I say that I did everything that I wanted? I lived my life like I wanted, or would I say that I just followed the path that everyone else wanted me to follow? And if you read this book, you realize that even if you do that, even if you uh, live life like other people's, according to other people's expectations, it doesn't matter by the end of it. Nobody cares. Nobody, by the end of it, Ivan Ilyich did not have anyone to share his pain with. He did not have family or friends. He just had one servant who understood his pain, or even recognized his pain. And it makes you question the way we live life. And I think that's what scared me the most. Not because this book is about death, but because it talks about life that we meant to live before death arrives. And and that's why I think it is a book for people who think about life, death, existence, meaning, and purpose. It makes you ask difficult questions, and it makes really hard for you to avoid those questions. It makes you face them. And I think it is one of the most brilliant things that I have read. So, yeah, I'll recommend this.